This week on Unapologetic Uplift.
And listen, anger isn't a bad thing. No emotion is bad. Emotions are just motion in your body, energy in motion, and they're trying to tell you something. When an idea is new, it's delicate, right? Like it's like a little baby and you're like birthing it into existence. So it's fragile in that initial stage. And so are you. So you want to be really mindful of who you're telling your ideas to. Welcome to Unapologetic Uplift. I'm your host, Kim Staples, joined by the one and only Ianthe Morrow, my gorgeous, stunning co-host. Welcome, welcome. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about, I think, what we're feeling energetically and maybe share some tips to utilize the current energy. So right now, the energy feels, I describe it as being spicy. And it's a fire energy that is intensifying and will be in full effect next week. But yeah, spicy. So you might find that you're like super reactive or that you have this subtle or not so subtle urge to like correct people or defend yourself or snap back. And really, this is an opportunity. It's an invitation to, as far as I'm concerned, practice the most advanced spiritual practice there is, which is the sacred pause. Yeah, that is this should be taking place between the space of stimulus and response rather than stimulus and react. That's like stimulus, let me check in with myself. I'm really owning that sacred pause, your ability to really choose who it is you are rather than reacting from your trauma and who it was you were. You can sticky arm.
It's I love that. I mean, it's always good to have, I call it's also impulse control, and it's more beautiful to say sacred pause. It also comes from the work I've done over the years in a 12-step program called Al-Anon for codependency, because one of the main tenets of that program is that we are not going to respond from a place of reactivity because it gets us nowhere. It gets everybody engaged in defensiveness. Easily you get misunderstood. And also, here's the other thing too, which is maddening, but this is what happens. If you respond out of reactivity, and maybe you're totally right, because you're really pissed off because something really got under your skin, you're now labeled as that, oh, that's anger, which isn't very mature. And so we're labeled. Yeah, so you're labeled. So and this is frustrating for me, but it's another reason why it's really good if you can have that sacred pause and not respond from reactivity. Because unfortunately, people do get very bothered by anger. And I think especially women aren't supposed to look angry. We're not supposed to get angry. And then we're not heard anymore because we're showing this anger.
You're labeled crazy.
We're labeled crazy.
You're labeled angry. You're labeled crazy as women. And listen, anger isn't a bad thing. No emotion is bad. Emotions are just motion in your body, energy in motion, and they're trying to tell you something. But the key is taking that sacred pause and channeling it into power, because that really is like, I think this current energy, this spicy, fiery energy is really, really great for creative energy. It really is a power, but it's alchemizing it and learning how to work with it. When you take the pause and you're not reactive, that is such a powerful gift. And it's like, what can I do with this energy? And if you think about it from like an anger perspective, because you're triggered by somebody, you're emotions are trying to tell you something. So when you can pause, listen, check in with yourself, and give yourself time, you can actually transmute that into this powerful way of communicating and actually creating change, or maybe getting somebody to see something from a different perspective, because you can channel it into more of a loving energy where it's like, I'm super passionate about this, but let me share it in such a way that comes across more from love rather than fear. And that is the place where we can actually potentially change somebody's mind, if that's what we're trying to do, where we can actually get somebody to see something from a different perspective. When we're reactive and explosive and just going off, you're never going to change somebody's mind. You're going to create them to be defensive because they're going to feel attacked. Let's pivot into how we can bring our ideas into fruition, particularly with this fiery, spicy energy that can ignite such a deep passion inside of us. Because, like, a lot of people don't recognize that when you have ideas, these are actually divine downloads. If you have an idea in your head, you can achieve that. There is no doubt about it. You will never receive an idea that is too big and out of reach for you. But people so often talk themselves out of their ideas and convince themselves that who the fuck are they? They are not capable. And they tend to get really, really, really caught up in the, I don't know.
And yeah, and I love this because you and I practice putting ideas into motion. You and I are both action takers, and we also have learned to trust our ideas as divine downloads. And so I love that you do that, Kim, too. And it's one of the things I recognized about you immediately, and why I love being in communication with you so often, because we really do implement these ideas that we get. But I just want to circle back really quick to one thing about the anger, reactivity, and sacred pause.
Please.
I just want to say this for somebody listening that might need it. Please know that anger comes up for a reason. And even though we're begging you to have a sacred pause, because you are going to be better understood, and you will be more persuasive and more powerful. I also want to say that anger needs to go somewhere. So if it's not going to that person because we're asking you to please not and to take a sacred pause, where is it going? Are you going outside and taking a walk? Are you tapping with Kim in the divine activation?
Are you breathing?
Yes. Are you noticing? Are you holding your breath? Is there something maybe it's something that you can get out of your body through taking a quick jog. Maybe it's doing some jumping jacks outside, or if it's snowing, you've mentioned doing a snow angel on the ground can help make you feel like get that out of your body. So it is relevant to notice and recognize when you get angry, and also powerful to not throw that anger in somebody's face just because you're feeling it in the moment. So it'd be wonderful, but it still is there. You feel it. So if we're going to channel it and into something creative, maybe if you ask yourself, well, what creative idea do I have right now? Let me just put all this into that. That would be great too. And you were talking about that, Kim. So let's go back to that. So what do? We get flooded with ideas, and right away we're saying to ourselves, oh, that's a stupid idea. Or this is often what happens, right? Or who am I to think that I could do that? Or fill in the blank. So
or I don't know how.
Or I
have
don't know
no idea how to do that.
So we don't know how. And you and I, like I said, are examples of people who we do it anyway. We might be scared. We might not know how. We don't care. We don't let that stop us. And I think that is
not
the power,
a reactive place, right? So here's the thing too. Like when I was initially learning to do this, I all of a sudden thought I had to take action on every single idea that came up immediately, or then otherwise it's going to go away, or I'm going to talk myself out of it. It can also be reactive when you're excited about something. Like reactivity isn't only around anger and being triggered. Reactivity can also take place when you have an idea and you're really excited about it. And this is when you get an idea and you think you're going to do something and you start telling everybody, which, by the way, there's a whole other concept of why you don't want to do this from an energetic standpoint and the evil eye. We can touch on that in a minute. It is also reactive, right? Like having a great idea and acting on it is massive, but that doesn't mean that you have to take immediate action on every single idea that you get. And you're probably like, Jesus Christ, Kim, what is it? You want me to take action and not talk myself out of it? Yes, I want you to take action, but I want you to be intentional about it. And I want you to take due diligence, research things. And I suppose that there's sort of a maturity to this as you start to practice it. So be kind and gentle with yourself. But personally, I used to, when I first started doing this, I'm like, I have to take action on all of my ideas. And I would be reactive and go put it out in social media immediately before I even knew like how I was going to do it or what it was going to look like. And it was a way that I kind of felt I was holding myself accountable because I was like, well, if I don't do this, maybe I won't take action and I'll talk myself out of it. Right. So, but I mentioned this evil eye, and I just want to touch on this because when an idea is new, it's delicate, right? Like it's like a little baby and you're like birthing it into existence. So it's fragile in that initial stage. And so are you. So you want to be really mindful of who you're telling your ideas to, because a lot of people will be, guess what? Reactive. And it's going to trigger them and they're not going to like it, or they're going to be worried about you. They're worried about you failing. Think of the parent who tells the little child, don't get your hopes up, sweetheart. It's from a loving and caring place, but it's worry and it can actually be detrimental. So, and then there are going to be people that are jealous, and jealousy is has a very strong energetic charge, and it could destroy your idea. It could throw you completely off track when somebody says something like, oh, well, how do you think you'll ever do that? There's no way you're going to be able to do that, right? Like that is the last thing you need to hear when you have this excitement and this nervous fear and you're like, I want to bring this thing into the world. And there are real energetic repercussions. It can fuck everything up and destroy it for you. So treat your ideas like the sacred little babies they are and recognize that they are delicate. And if you're not sure if you can trust somebody, just don't risk it. Don't announce it to the world until you have a plan in place and you start. Usually, I don't want to put a definite time on it, but I would say don't say anything for the first 30 days to anybody unless you know for certain. Like Ianthe is somebody I can share my ideas with immediately because I know that like she's like me, and even if she doesn't get it, she's going to be super supportive. And here's the thing. Your vision is yours for a reason, and nobody else is going to see your vision the way that you see it. You get it. Even if you don't fully get my idea and you're like, I don't get it. Hey, you're just going to be supportive anyways. Right. And I'm the same way when somebody shares an idea with me. Your vision is yours. Nobody else is going to see it the way that you see it. And this is why if somebody shares an idea with me and I don't see the vision, I'm just supportive. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Good for you. Go get it, girl. You know, that's how we all should be, just supportive of somebody else's dreams regardless. But not everybody is like that. People don't get it. That's fine. They are who they are. Send them blessings. Just make sure if you're going to share that idea, especially within the first 30 days, I would say, that it is somebody that is going to honor it. And come tell me or Ianthe. We got
Exactly. We're saying, I promise you, Kim and I will never be jealous. If we are, we check that so fast. I don't remember the last time I felt jealousy, actually. So that's good news. You do need to find someone like Kim or I to talk to about it. But really, the most beautiful thing to do is just talk to yourself about it and allow it to be sacredly yours for a while. Like you said, it's this precious baby, and let that baby be cocooned by you as you're figuring this out. And then try steps. And I will say too, I'm just like you, Kim. I use doing things too quickly as a form of accountability. Meaning, I put it out, if I make an announcement on a story on Instagram, then I'm like, oh, I better follow through with this because I've already told the world on Instagram. Not that anyone's necessarily seeing my stories, but I have this feeling like it
Right.
must happen now. I must take the next steps because I have
I
put it out
said it.
there. Yeah. Therefore, it's going to happen.
Yeah. And I think there's as the more you go on, the more you create things that there's this maturity that comes with it where you learn as you go, like, maybe that wasn't the best idea. Next time I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to do the research and then I'm going to announce it. But don't get caught up in how I'm going to do it. There will always be one action you can take, one action that you know is going to move the needle forward. Don't worry about the order of the steps or how anything is going to, don't worry about that. With these divine downloads, you want to just take one step forward and then the next step will present itself and the next step and the next step. These synchronicities will start to happen. This person you need will show up, whatever the case is. So just start taking itty bitty 1% days towards it and taking small actions. We're going to wrap up here because we're having loads of technical difficulties. If this episode resonates with you, if you want us to go into further detail with it, just let us know. Leave us a comment, shoot us a message, take a screenshot and share this to your stories. Make sure that you have notifications turned on and you're subscribed to the podcast so you don't miss a thing. We love you so, so very much and look forward to seeing you next week.